just to start things off, Nikki, can you just tell me a little bit about what you do and where it is that you work?
I work for a company called Crossroads Caring for Carers. We are a care agency that support people to remain in their own homes, to remain independent. So it could be people that are elderly or have certain disabilities, and Crossroads go in and support them so that they can stay at home and also give any sort of carers or family a break from their role looking after people.
And can you just describe your role within that company then? So what do you do on a daily basis, and what does your day-to-day look like?
I tend to do all sorts, really. My official role is administrator. So I work in the office in the background, obviously supporting the team leaders and the care manager with office-based things. But I also go out and do care work. So care work can involve a number of things. People always sort of assume it's just personal care, sort of helping people with that aspect of things. But what we do is a wide variety of things. So we can be supporting people with going on appointments, doing their shopping for them, preparing meals for them or with them, giving them medication, obviously helping with getting up in the mornings, getting dressed, and offering companionship for them as well. Some people obviously live on their own, so they're very lonely. So it's a very varied role that I do, really. You sort of build up relationships with family carers, giving them all the support they need, and the person with care needs, supporting them to be independent and remain at home.
So it sounds like a really important role within society, and something that I suppose over the last couple of years has been really important given the pandemic. But can you just take me back to the start then? Just talk me through sort of your school journey and then your career journey to where you are now. So how did you get on at GCSE? Did you go on to do A levels? Was it college? And then how did you find yourself sort of within the care industry and within the role you're in now?
My school journey was a case of not wanting to be at school, not understanding why I was there. It was more of an inconvenience, if I'm brutally honest. I had no idea as a teenager what I wanted to do in life, and I didn't really put much thought to it. Unfortunately, I didn't apply myself in school, which was a big regret of mine, which is a regret that you never realise until you're sort of older in life. So I didn't really come out of school with the best GCSEs, which didn't leave many opportunities for me. So upon leaving school, I basically went to college and did a hair and beauty course. Again, it wasn't something that I suddenly thought, oh, I want to be a hairdresser or I want to be a beautician. It was a case of I haven't really got the best results and I quite like hair and makeup. So I went and did that and I completed that course. And then when I left college, it was a case of obviously got to get a job. You know, the bank of mum and dad isn't there forever. So I worked a number of jobs really when I left education. I've started off working at a supermarket, and then I worked in retail for a while, and then fell into sort of other sales roles. So I sort of worked selling advertising for newspapers and the internet. And I enjoyed that. I loved sales. I was a very chatty, outgoing person. So I enjoyed that side of things. But when I had my first child, I had to sort of slow down with work, obviously be a bit more stay-at-home mum, and I needed a part-time job. Now, Crossroads, the chief executive here, Roger, was one of my customers for an internet company I worked for, and we sort of were chatting and he was telling me all about what Crossroads did. And I'd never really even heard of caring in the community and domiciliary care. I suppose you don't really think about it unless there's somebody within your family that needs that sort of support. And I just thought, what a wonderful job to do, to be able to support people and make their lives a little bit better. Roger then sort of happened to comment that there was a part-time administrative role. They needed somebody just to help out in the office. And I came along and had a chat with him and Helen, the care manager. And they were such lovely, welcoming people. The team was so lovely. And I thought, you know, what a lovely company to work for. So that's how my journey started with Crossroads, working sort of part-time, doing admin.
And you mentioned in there that it can be quite a rewarding role Why is that? Why is care such a rewarding role to be in?
Well, like I said, I've worked in sales previously to working in care. As fulfilling as it was to sort of reach those targets and hit those targets and, achieve the goals that were set for you by your employer, the difference with working in care, I suppose, and I know it sounds like it's a cliche, is that you really, really feel that you're making a huge difference to somebody's life. You're making their day that much easier and happier. And you can be doing the smallest of things, but I think until you realize that doing such a little thing can make such a massive difference to somebody's life, jobs don't normally give you that feeling. So it's quite, it's a very humbling career to be in, and you are making such a massive difference to somebody.
You've obviously mentioned the sort of rewarding side of the role there. And if a young person is considering going to a career in care, what are some of the challenges they might face in it? So obviously, like I say, you mentioned the rewarding side of it, but is there any sort of challenges that might crop up within your role that some sort of young people should be aware of?
The upsetting side of things is obviously seeing people struggle. It can be an eye-opener at first. Like I say, when you first work in care, you've possibly never met anybody with dementia or, struggling with day-to-day tasks. And initially it's a bit of a shell shock and it's upsetting. But then you realise that, with the support of carers and the support of family, they can still live a fulfilling life and they can remain independent. Other than that, I mean, the job really isn't upsetting and challenging. I mean, I've just grown within the health and social sector. There's so many different opportunities out there, but I believe that the best way to sort of progress within an industry is to sort of be hands-on. And doing that with Crossroads has certainly helped me progress in my career.
I would have to agree as well, sort of having worked myself for private organisations such as local businesses and people like that, and having worked for people who is more for a profit based, it definitely makes a difference when you come to work with somebody like the council, or for example like a care home, where you feel like you are making a difference instead of just lining the boss's pockets at the top. It definitely doesn't feel like you're making a difference on a daily basis. So if a young person was looking to get into the care industry, then how would they do it? What's the best way to do it? Is it an apprenticeship? Is it sort of go to college and do a certain course? How would a young person who's at that sort of GCSE level now looking to go into a career in care?
For me, I can tell you how I did it. So like I said, I came out of school with no real great qualifications, and when I started working for Crossroads, I was given the opportunity to obviously do all of the training, the in-house training here that they give before you go out and do care work. And alongside that, I was asked if I would like to do my level 2 diploma in health and social care, which I did. And then that led on to me completing my health and social, my diploma level 3 in health and social care. Now, you can obviously go and do that at college or university from school, and that's obviously a brilliant thing to do. Or if you're somebody like me that just wanted to get out there, start working, then you can obviously, I believe most care agencies and home cares, you can do apprenticeships whilst out there working. I think that's a brilliant way to do it, because obviously you're learning and gaining so much experience whilst out there doing the job. If Crossroads hadn't given me the opportunity to do those diplomas, then that wouldn't have opened the doors that I have now. I mean, I currently now work 2 jobs. So I work for Crossroads, and I also work within health and social care within the NHS. I've just currently about to start a business administrative MBQ level 3, which I wouldn't have been able to have done if Crossroads hadn't sort of put me on my diploma journey and I hadn't got my health and social care qualification. It's just opened up lots of doors for me. I worked 2 jobs because I didn't want to leave the Crossroads family. We are like a family here, and I absolutely am very proud to be part of the team at Crossroads that are rated outstanding by the Care Quality Commission. We work very, very hard to get that outstanding rating, and Crossroads really have helped me to get where I am today.
Yeah, and I think that's an important message you share there. That just because you're going in sort of those entry level roles within the care industry, there's lots of room to expand, and there's lots of room to go forward and progress your career within that industry. So you mentioned sort of early in the conversation about how you did your sales role, and you sort of had that chatty personality. How have those skills helped you within your care role? So have any of those skills that you used earlier in your career transferred over into your care role? Have you learnt new skills within your care role? Can you just tell me a little bit about the skill set that you've got right now, and how they're important to your job?
Yeah, I think when you're when you're starting off, and if you start off doing care work, the key thing is to be caring, have a personality that's open, understanding. So being able to just converse with people, understand and listen. I mean, it's like building friendships when you first go and support people in their own homes. So that sort of thing is just, if you've got kind, caring personality, then care work and working in the care sector is definitely for you. The rest is taught. Like I say, I had no understanding, whether it was naivety or just because I was young and, I wouldn't have any need to know about the care sector. But, how you give somebody medication, how you might, help with manual handling of people, all of that can be taught. And if you work for a good company, you'll get all the training and the support that you need. And then you just gain experience over time. I think that I've just learned so much over the years from the people that I work with and the support that I've been given. I mean, I can only talk for Crossroads because it's the only care company I've ever worked for. I've been here for 12 years now, and they have done nothing but support me and help me, push me to progress through in my career.
It does sound like a fantastic place to work for. It sounds like they've really pushed you on to become bigger and better, and really furthered your career. So you mentioned it a little bit earlier on again, but if you had the chance to sort of speak to your younger self, is there any sort of bits of advice you'd give to them? Would you say, "Oh, maybe I'd do that a little bit different," or, "Oh, hang on a minute, don't do that, do this"? Sort of, is there any bits of tips or advice you'd give to your younger self? Maybe at that GCSE age, maybe at that college age. What sort of thing, looking back in hindsight, would you say to your younger self?
Oh, there's probably lots of advice, but I suppose the obvious one is you might not think you need those qualifications, but you must try your best. But also that don't sweat it too much. If you fail at something, then you brush yourself off and you try again. It isn't the end of the world if you don't know exactly what you want to do, if you don't get those results that you want, because, you can always redo them. There's lots of opportunities out there. I think there's a lot of pressure on teenagers. I've got a teenage son, and I know that you're constantly asking things like, what do you want to be when you grow up? What do you want to do? And I certainly remember as a teenager thinking, I've not got a clue. And why would you have a clue? You've never been out there and you've never worked a job. So how do you know what you like and what you don't like? I think keep your options open, try anything, because you never know where it might lead.
And I think that's a fantastic way to round things off. Keep your options open, and keep your mind open to things in different avenues, because like Nikki said there, you never really know where it's going to lead. So thank you very much for joining me today, Nikki. It's been really insightful, and I assume a lot of young people will take a lot away from that, especially if they're looking to go into a career in the care industry.
You're more than welcome. Thank you for your time.